Now to the nuclear crisis in Japan, where there's been an unprecedented radiation spike at sea. Take a look at these new aerial photos of the Daiichi nuclear power station in Fukushima. They show just how badly these reactors are damaged. Meanwhile, tests on the ocean water surrounding the crippled power plant show radiation spiking to more than 3,000 times normal levels. It's by far the highest reading recorded since the tsunami hit. Now, it seems all the stress from this nuclear nightmare is too much to take for the president of the Tokyo Electric Power Company. Masataki Shimizu has been hospitalized. We're told he's suffering from fatigue. A spokesman for the power company says the executive's health has been declining from overworking. There's no time for fatigue and no relief from the stress for hundreds of workers inside the Daiichi plant. They're sleeping on lead mats in corridors and in stairwells, and they're getting 2 rationed meals a day: crackers and juice for breakfast, canned foods for dinner. There are no showers. Moistened wipes are what they're using to bathe. Japan's chief cabinet secretary says the conditions are regrettable.
The workers are working under very dangerous and very hard conditions, and I feel a great deal of respect to them and very apologetic.
Listen to these emails from 2 of the workers. One writes, quote, "My parents were washed away by the tsunami and I still don't know where they are." And from another plant employee, quote, "Crying is useless. If we're in hell now, all we can do is crawl up toward heaven."
It's unimaginable what they're going through, and each day presents a new problem. So there really is literally no rest for the weary. I mean, they can't bring in new workers. I mean, they've been exposed to varying levels of radiation.
It's very sad.
It is. It's terrifying. Welcome back. We've been following the latest in Japan right now with the nuclear reactors. There have been heroic efforts on the parts of technicians and engineers trying to prevent a full nuclear meltdown at the damaged site. But the material is still seeping into the underground, and we want to show you. Let's just make this big and give you a couple of headlines right now on what's going on. First of all, they're concerned about radioactive water now found for the first time outside of the reactor in a tunnel building. They're also looking at the low levels of plutonium that have been detected in soil samples near the plant, another big concern, and also radioactive iodine and cesium found in the seawater at larger levels than they've seen before. And the reason that this is a big concern is because plutonium is one of the most lethal substances on Earth and becomes a danger to humans if it becomes airborne and ingested. It could eventually lead to cancer. A lot of people are wondering exactly how all of this happened, and let's just take a look right now. This is a closer look at reactor number 2, and I'll just play this for you right now. We get inside of reactor number 2, and we look at what's happening there. Japan's chief cabinet agency says he received a report that the containment vessel itself, which is right here in reactor 2, is damaged and that water is leaking. The contaminated water may be finding its way into the sea, even though Japan's nuclear agency say there's no evidence of it. And here's a look at how it's getting there. It's being pumped in, trying to cool these fuel rods, coming down, making its way through here and then into the ocean. You can see where this is happening in the underground maintenance tunnels where this radioactive water has been discovered. The water could also be escaping from the reactor as radioactive steam. Still a lot of questions about exactly what is causing it. But we want to show you why it's so concerning about what's happening with the plutonium. So here's the nuclear reactor building. And what happens here is these particles of plutonium make their way into the air. Japan's cabinet chief secretary told reporters it was likely that it came from the plant. So how would that happen? When it makes its way into the air, it's then released into the atmosphere. At this point, it comes down into the soil. And the reason this is concerning is because if they bind to dust, travel a distance, and get into the groundwater, farm produce can then become contaminated. And the main way this happens is it gets into milk because it falls into the grass. It's then eaten by the cows. So experts who spoke with CNN say that finding plutonium anywhere is dangerous because if it's ingested, the rays can cause cancerous growths. Back to you guys.